Welcome to Lone Crow Adventures, the channel.
And fail already.
Welcome to Lone Crow Adventures, the channel where we talk about all things camping, hiking, and backpacking. I'm Samantha.
Oh, I'm Sarah.
That's my wife. And we are here to give you our New Year's special. We thought a really nice way to wrap up the camping season for 2019 would be to take the viewers on a journey of all the different camping trips that we have done right through the entire year. So we'll get that started up. We'll take a look at this first picture here. That was our very first time out for the year. It was actually here at Sandridge State Forest. It was March 22nd, 2019. We were a little slow to get started last year.
I'm clearly drunk and in a manic state of laughter. It looks like I was having a fantastic time.
You know,
But you get a little stir crazy in the winter, so that is what happens as a result of camping for the first time.
I don't even think you were drunk. I think you had like 2 sips off that beer.
I think it was still cold, so I don't think I was like hitting it hard, but
No.
it looked like I was hitting it hard.
So what are some of the things that happened on this trip here?
No, you swipe left.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. We had our first use of our Coleman lantern that was gifted to us by my father-in-law. We had it restored and got that used, so that was exciting.
Fantastic. That was a game changer.
That was a game changer, the Coleman lantern. And what about this one? You want to comment on that?
Oh, I decided to take up metal detecting this year. It's been a learning curve most of the time. You find pieces of tinfoil that the raccoons shat out. She's ended up holding poop many times, like in the search for something
Tinfoil
metal in
poop.
there.
Yep.
And this year, the only things I can really say I was excited about was an antique horseshoe, and I did find a silver wolf pendant that was actual silver, which she stole and wears. But hopefully we find some better stuff next year. But boy, we sure picked up the garbage in the forest this year with that, though.
Yeah, we did. We cleared the forest out. All right, so then our second camping night, that was that same weekend, again at Sandridge State Forest.
Oh, was that steak?
Yeah, we had steak.
I don't think we've had steak since then. When was that? March 23rd?
That was March 23rd.
It's a problem.
Yeah, we need to do something about that.
More steak.
All right, number 3, April 5th, 2019.
Oh, that's when we got that water jug.
I hate that water jug.
This was at Loud Thunder Forest Preserve, our go-to campground for the opening and ending Illinois camp season, which is April through October 31st. So we have a tradition of beginning and ending the actual camp season at Loud Thunder, our favorite Illinois haunt. And that jug, Samantha got along with really well this year.
I hate it. It needs to go. It needs to go away. So what did we do? Oh, we went geocaching for the first time.
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
We couldn't find anything the whole time. We were out for hours, and then it turns out the geocache, we couldn't find the original one we set out for, and then it turns out there was another one literally 65 feet from our campground. So we went and found that one.
Yeah.
But we found it. That's the important thing. That was our first time geocaching, you know. All right, number 4. That's our second night at Loud Thunder. That was April 6th, so that was that same weekend.
Wow, that's nice headlamp hair there. Couldn't have found a hat to maybe put on in that picture. But okay.
Oh, here we are. You
Is
know,
that more steak?
No, that's our wedding cake. That's our anniversary.
Oh, okay, break that down. Yeah, you got a lot of explaining about that
boy.
place and where that was.
So this was a 5th camping night. That was at Cloudland Canyon State Park in Georgia. That was on April 13th. And that's our actual very first wedding anniversary. So we
were married on Friday the 13th. This one was
Yep.
not a Friday the 13th.
Nope, this was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday. Anyway, so we had this backpacking site, and we
It said it was a walk-in
it
site.
said it was a walk-in
which
site.
leads you to believe you walk a short distance.
You know, a couple
the way it
hundred
was
feet
worded
from the car.
with a wagon, we thought.
You know, It was like a mile and a half or something from the car. So we drugged this big bottle of wine and this piece of wedding cake that we had frozen in our freezer for the whole year out to this campsite to celebrate our anniversary. And then, yeah, that was a good time. Though.
No. You forgot the part where the wagon broke.
Oh, yeah.
When we started using it at the very beginning of the trail, and we ended up having to make like 4 trips back and forth to get all of our stuff, which we thought we were just going to throw in this wagon. Wagons have failed us many times, and that was an example.
Yeah,
of...
I really need to do a video on camp wagons because I think they're trash. I think they're total trash. But I thought it was a walk-in site that the campsite would be like 75 feet from where I had to park the car. So I thought, okay, I'll bring my cots. I'll bring all my regular car camping stuff. I'll just throw it in this wagon and I'll just drag it away. Well, it turns out it was like 2 miles away. It was like a regular backpacking site. So here I am. I didn't bring any of my backpacking gear. I'm dragging all this heavy crap through the woods. I have to do it. I mean, it's like my anniversary. I'm not going to be
including cake.
Yeah, including the wedding cake. I'm not going to disappoint my wife on our anniversary. Be like, oh, I guess we're not camping,
Yeah, it was
honey.
a really great day. Love it.
All right. Oh, here we are. That's a picture of you getting ready for the, to...
I probably had to break out the Osprey after a wagon broke.
Yeah, I think you did.
The 75.
Oh, and there's the next night. Still again at Cloudland Canyon. And remember how cold it was?
We were plagued by freezing temperatures meets tornadoes, torrential, horrible rain. We stayed up wasn't it the night of our anniversary? Yes. We were up all night. I mean, you would no sooner get to sleep than the tarp would start to blow with such ferocious noise. And then our phones both simultaneously went off with a flash flood warning
and tornado
warning in the middle of the Georgia nowhere, a mile and a half from the car. So, I remember like we were laying on our cots with our boots on, ready to, I don't know,
spring
catch
into
the tent
action.
or I don't know.
And the crazy thing, it was about 33 degrees. We did not bring any winter gear. We thought it's Georgia. Like it's hot there. Not all the time, apparently. Oh, yes, in Cloudland Canyon.
That picture really doesn't break down what it was actually like there. It's way too sunny.
Yeah, those are some beautiful pictures. And, of course, we had a really beautiful campsite. Night number 7, so we spent 3 nights on this backcountry campsite. I figured we had to drag all the stuff out there. May as well stay for 3 nights.
That was when we had to go drag and all that firewood. I think we actually had wood in the car, but once the wagon broke, how are you going to get it there, right?
Yeah, we just got.
That was a lot of work that day to.
Oh,
that's
here we
the
are.
best.
George L. Smith State Park. So again, we're in Georgia. This one's a little bit more southeast on the coast, and there was alligators at the park.
Mating. Alligators mating. You could hear them mating. They said don't pay no attention if you hear like these strange grunting noises. It's alligator mating season, and we'd never camped anywhere with alligators. We didn't really intend to camp at this RV site that backed right up to the swamp. I mean, the swamp was right there.
Yeah. Like if you look at the
so
picture.
we were a little wigged out initially. It turned out to be awesome pictures and a beautiful site. And I, despite it being an RV site, would actually stay there again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was nice. And we stayed there. How many nights were we at George L?
I think 2 because that rain system.
It looks
was
like
coming.
3.
Oh, are we in short sleeves in that other picture?
Yeah. So look at 8, and then 9.
Yeah.
And then 10.
And see how happy we look. Short sleeves. We don't have our rain gear on. We have beer.
We have beer. It was a good time. It was a good time at George L. Smith.
Yep.
That's great. And we got to go out and see Savannah. We were there to see the local sites.
Oh, we got to go to Corpsewood Manor.
Hike
in.
Yep.
That's fantastic. If you're ever in that area, you should definitely hike into that. It's pretty creepy fun.
And Wormslow. Was it Wormslow?
Wormslow.
Yep. Uh-huh. That's an excellent place. Oh, yeah.
Look how happy we are.
Night number 11, Flambeau River State Forest. This is in Wisconsin. And we typically go to Wisconsin for the long weekend in May. And this was a pretty big trip. This was the first trip that I took my brand new Jeep that I bought. I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee, so it was, she was getting her feet wet, so to speak, the Jeep was. So that was great.
We love Flambeau. It's easily our favorite Wisconsin site that we've been to.
Yep, very nice. Oh, night number 12, we're getting into the New Glarus.
Oh, and we both bought matching sweaters because we should certainly dress alike, right? From Flambeau, we were really excited about those.
Yep, yep. So we had that. That's a New Glarus spotted cow. It's only available in Wisconsin, so we always pick some up every time that we go. Oh, that's right. And we went on our first canoe trip together.
Yes.
Down the Flambeau River that time.
We managed to stay in the canoe.
Yep.
It was a great time.
Stayed in the canoe. And we spent 3 nights there.
We didn't have any paper. We just had that roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, we didn't have any. We didn't have any paper. All right. Night number 14. That brings us back to Sandridge State Forest again. What happened on this trip? Oh, it was so hot.
You put that picture in there.
It was
I'm
so
glad that's you.
I'll never forget it.
Really hot.
Oh, it was the worst. The humidex was like 106, and you couldn't breathe.
I think we had not been camping for some weekends before.
Yeah, what was
and in the
date
summer,
on the other one? Yeah, from May 25th, and we didn't go out again until June 28th.
Yeah, see, so in the summer we get like stir crazy. Like a few weeks go by and we haven't been out camping, and we're like, we're going no matter what. And this is the no matter what.
It was awful.
She's got the cooling towel. That was a new addition this year, and she used it. You just kind of like wet it and whirl it up, and it actually does feel cool.
Yep.
And
my board
got
shorts,
swim trunks.
It was so hot, and that was at like what 8:30 at night. Like that was in the evening.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna end up with heat stroke. You know,
it was bad.
It was awful.
Oh, like
there we are.
Oh yikes!
That's that same weekend. We stayed 2 nights. We made it the 2 nights, and you never wear shorts.
I don't wear shorts.
Ever.
I do have like convertible pants, but they've been converted in 3 years, maybe twice. This was
that's one of the times.
And you see, we have the big cooler, and we're not even screwing around.
Yeah.
Like, I think we probably drank most of what was in there.
Yep. Yeah, we sure did. Oh, here we are. A couple weeks later, we come back to Sandridge.
We look happier.
We were only there, I think, one night. I think that was the day you broke your phone.
Oh yeah, that's not happy times.
Yeah, I don't think that was very happy. That's why we only stayed 1 night.
It was an emergency.
Oh, here we are. Here's an important one. Night number 17. We're here. We're actually on this campsite right here where we're sitting tonight to do this video. And this is night number 17. It is July 26, 2019. And that marks the very first weekend where we filmed the very first Lone Crow Adventures YouTube video. So we started filming.
Oh, because we had those new chairs.
Yep.
They were fantastic.
Yep. Those backpacking chairs. Mm-hmm. Oh, there we are.
There it is.
Getting the camera going. Oh, that's right. We felt the first film we made was
the
on
bathroom.
The portable bathroom.
Yep.
So we had to get some pit toilet shots. Oh, and there we are. We spent 2 days out here and filmed most of that time. So we had to get the tripod.
I was really working hard.
She was doing a lot of directing, giving me some pointers.
I can direct from a hammock or a chair.
And where's this? Oh, number 19. Back at Sandridge.
Here again?
I think we're over there this time.
Okay.
At C2.
Yeah.
And
more beer.
More beer.
Got a drinking Brava.
Yep. Oh, and there we are. Night number 20 again.
Oh, there's our lovely sign making the picture.
Oh, night number 21 at the boat with the in-laws.
Yep.
That was a fun time. Boy, when you want to go camping, just go to the in-laws because there was fried catfish, there was some delicious potatoes.
Was that when there was like random cheese or something too?
Oh, yeah.
Food just kept appearing in waves.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was like drinks and food just kept appearing at the boat club.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah, we just set up our tent at the boat club. Oh, night number 22. We ended up sleeping in the Jeep in Superior, Wisconsin. Yeah. We were en route up to Voyageurs National Forest, and that's as far as we could drive after work, which was pretty good. That was like 10 hours. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we are, night number 23.
Ah, beautiful.
And that is on our island campsite at Voyageurs National Forest. That was our first overnight canoe trip that we had ever attempted. So that was pretty exciting. Number 24. So that's our little backpacking tent that we brought with us. We have matching shirts on again.
Well, I think we bought those shirts specifically for the canoe trip, though. We just got them before the trip. We don't typically dress alike, I promise, but it doesn't look like that in these pictures. I make fun of people who dress alike, but here it is.
I think my mom bought that shirt for you.
For my birthday. Yeah.
And then I was jealous, so I went out and bought one.
It's her fault. We looked just alike. And they were such great shirts that we wore them, like, I think virtually the entire time.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Oh, there's Sarah doing some, you were the...
She was filming the entire time, and I was paddling the entire time.
I didn't do much work. Nope. Oh, night number 25. That was a hard night. That was
the night I refused to even be in the picture.
Yep.
We were unshowered and unappropriate, unclean.
And that was in Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Oh. That canoe trip, it ended up being chilly. And there was no showers happening.
No showers.
The entire.
Too cold to swim.
Time. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Night number 26. We did some backpacking out to Sand Ridge, and we did some hammock camping. That was pretty fun. Oh, night number 27. Oh, is that our last time at Loud Thunder for the year?
When was it?
October 4th.
No, I think we camped once more. And I see that we also are matching again different colors. We've discovered the Cotopaxi there. Cotopaxi Cove.
That Cotopaxi little synthetic pack jacket is
delightful.
Really awesome. Check it out. It's really great. Oh yeah, because we did go back. We went back October 18th.
I thought so.
Yeah, we went back to Loud Thunder. That must have been our season closer.
I think it was. Weren't we concerned that the water was even going to be on? It wasn't on, actually, was it?
No, the water was not on. No,
we had to bring a bunch of jug water out there with us.
Oh, and this is Sarah. She tried to set up the tent.
She went off to do her filming.
Well, I was hammock camping that night, and Sarah didn't want to hammock camp, so she wanted to sleep in the tent.
It was a little chilly, and I haven't settled into a hammock underquilt yet, so I was tent bound. And I have lots of my own jobs, like the bathroom and such, that I deal with. I do not set up the tent normally, and I felt overwhelmed.
We got it done. Oh, there we go. And they were there October 19th, so just before Halloween. We were there. Yeah. That ended our Illinois, or what is considered the most people's traditional camp season. After that, November 1st in Illinois is kind of the off season.
There's only camping. a couple campsites that are open here at that time.
Yeah, so it's pretty limited. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting it done. We're on night number 30, and that is at Great Salt Plains, Oklahoma. And that was a delightful little campground. It was cold, though, that night.
Yeah, we got there just at dusk, so we did get to see it. We never found the salt plains.
Never.
I don't know if you've watched that video or whatever, but we never found the salt plains. I mean, it would have been better to see the salt plains, but it was still nice. And you could hear water rushing all night. It was like the sound of a stream next to the tent. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they had that dam.
Because I was worried that I was going to have to get up, 1,000 times because that water was like right there. But it was okay. Yeah, in the big water dam.
That's a beautiful campground. If you're down in the South United States, in Oklahoma, that's a beautiful campground to go to. I highly recommend that one. So there's just some Oklahoma. Oh, here we are in New Mexico.
Oh. I think you can see right through our expressions there. We were totally overwhelmed and concerned that night.
Yeah.
Like, it was pitch black when we got there, I think.
And windy.
Yeah, there was, it's New Mexico, right? Desert, there's nothing to block the wind.
No, and it was cold. I think we spent 2 nights there. Here's the second night.
Oh, I'm in short sleeves. Look at me.
Yeah, the second night was much more delightful. We had this wonderful little pavilion, and you can see why the pavilions at the car camping sites are there, because in the summertime, that desert sun shining overhead would get really, really intense. So it's nice that they provide shade, but that was a nice little pavilion. We were doing a road tripping experience, so that was a really nice site.
That was like right around the time we discovered both our tent and our bathroom was broken.
Yep, good time. Oh, Oh, what night is that?
33.
33.
Yep.
That's at Guadalupe Mountains National Park in Texas.
Cold.
It was
cold.
When we went on this trip, we looked at the seasonal averages for what Texas was going to be at that time.
40s at night.
40s at night. I mean, it was snowing. It was like in the mid 20s.
The wind chill was.
Yep. Our tent had broken, so we had no recourse but to set up this stupid little Walmart tent. Walmart was the only thing that was around, so I bought this little $35 Walmart tent.
Ozark Trail, I think it was.
Well, it can go back to the Ozark Trail as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, which are in Missouri. It's much warmer there. But this was also the night we had the like the gale warning or some such that said, we could have wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. There was a 55 mile per hour sustained wind.
And we had a Walmart tent.
And we had a Walmart tent. The Walmart tent survived, but there was just as much wind inside the tent as there was outside. So the whole night you're in your sleeping bag is
of course we have our huge sleeping bags, so we're totally warm except for your face. There's this constant wind blowing across your face. Your nose feels like it wants to fall off, like you're just,
I thought we were going to get wind nip or frostbite or something on our nose. And then, last night.
Make sure you pronounce it right.
Big Bend National Park in Texas with the bear and the javelina, which we had been calling javelinas the whole time. And then a viewer of the channel actually, told us,
which makes perfect sense.
You're not pronouncing it correctly. That's the Mexican pronunciation or the Spanish. Pronunciation. Javelina. We saw some javelinas too.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, there wasn't anything spectacular about the site. It looked like, unlike the mountains where there was actually big cliffs and beauty, and this was just like a flat little park type site where you could see each other. There was no tree lines in between. And the only thing that made this whole thing worthwhile, because you couldn't even keep up your tent if you left because of the javelinas, which we did not know ahead of going, because we were supposed to stay here 2 nights, and we decided, if we have to tear down everything every time we leave this campsite to go see something, then that's ridiculous, right? So we only stayed 1 night. But it was worth it just to get a few shots of the actual javelinas and see them. And there was something really bizarre about setting up a tent and you hear snorting. You go to bed and you hear snorting noises, right? That's odd. We don't have that in the Midwest, so it was worth it once. Wouldn't stay there again because I'm not into tearing down my tent every time I roll out.
Well, and it said basically if and we were the only tent campers there. This was at, what was it called? The Cottonwood?
Yeah,
Cottonwood
I think it was
campground.
Cottonwood,
There's a few different campgrounds at Big Bend National Park. But with this one, we were the only tent campers there. Everyone either had camper vans or RVs, and they weren't worried about it. They just, load up their RV and, go for the day. Well, the ranger was going around, to tell people about these javelinas, and there were signs posted everywhere saying if you abandon your gear, even if there's no food smells in your tent, they're liable to just rifle through your tent and cause damage to your stuff because, that's what they do. So we thought we don't want any part of that, so we're just going to pack up. And then it was so far, it was like 23 hours away from home, that we decided that we would just kind of start making our way back home.
We were concerned about the mountain lions on that trip because we had previously not camped ever anywhere where there were, bears yes, but mountain lions no. That was new for us. So we didn't know. Of course, we're tourists, right? So we think we're going to see a mountain lion around every corner, right? Obviously. But the biggest problem ended up being the wannabe pigs, not from the pig family apparently, but yeah.
So that was night 35, and then now we're here. We're back at Sand Ridge State Forest, kind of where it all started. So we came full circle. We've been to a lot of different places. So how many states was that? That was Illinois, Wisconsin, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. Is there anywhere else?
I think that's it.
6 different states in 1 year.
Sounds right.
That's a pretty solid camping year, I'd say, for the travel-hearted. So we had initially aimed to get 40 nights in a camping. That was my goal, pie in the sky goal. I wanted to camp 40 nights of the year. We didn't quite make it. We're going to shoot for 40 next year. 2020, we're going to get our 40 nights in. So we better get our butts out there before March.
We're secretly wanting to do one, like, we always need to do things that we've never done that other people think are ridiculous. We secretly want to camp a night in January and a night in February. We have never camped in those months. We've camped in every other month. December is usually kind of mild, so that's not a problem. But in Illinois, I mean, especially I think even February, sometimes worse than January. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculously cold. Like even last year, it managed where we were. We got the polar vortex to like what -30 some. I mean, so I mean that's the kind of things that happen like in January, February. We're not as heavy on the snow side. It's just cold and windy.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the Midwest, especially the part of the Midwest that we are in. It's really difficult to get yourself outside and have a lot of, you know, what I would consider worthwhile experiences to bring forth to the channel, because so much of the state is either like campgrounds, or it's your family campground that's really crowded, and I don't want to do videos where there's little kids or other people running around in the background, or somebody blaring the radio.
What if
three
I'm
sites
running
over.
around in the background?
That's fine. You can you can be the cameo anytime that you want. And that's the one thing about Illinois too, is there's a really limited backpacking scene, and it's so windy and damp all the time. So right now, what's the temperature now? Like
29.
29. I mean, it feels like it's like 18 degrees, and that's just because of how damp. There's so much dampness in the air. So that's just where we live, but we have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
So, any aspirations going into next year? Like mine is to hit 40 nights. I also want to do at least 2 overnight canoe trips. I'd like to do a canoe trip on the Flambeau River, and I would like to do a canoe trip on the Current River in Missouri. Those are my 2 kind of goals.
We have actually never camped Missouri, which is a shame because, I mean, I think Missouri with the rocks and whatnot is quite beautiful. Now, Missouri's a bit like an armpit. I mean, once you hit the summer, it's terrible humidity-wise, far worse than here. So you got to kind of like hit it right. But it's a crying shame we haven't been there yet. But I don't know if we'll camp anywhere strange because we're still working on hitting our 50 states.
Yeah.
So we still got some more states to get to.
Yep. Yeah, we've got some more.
Some crazy states.
We might try to get down. Maybe we'll get down to Shawnee National Forest this year. It's in our own state. We just have never been. It's about 4 hours away from where we live, and it's hard to justify going 4 hours away when it's still someplace that's in your same state. But it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I would also like to do UP Michigan.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. So we've got a few things, in our aspirations.
Oh, and I want a hot tent.
Everybody wants a hot tent. You need to.
I'm working on her with that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want a hot tent. I also want to win the lottery, and then we can get a hot tent.
Great.
So that was kind of our year, in summation, just to kind of bring you guys up on, the things that we do that you don't get the opportunity to see on the channel. We've got lots of hopes and dreams for next year, and hopefully you guys will get yourselves out there in the camping season and hit strong with the new year too. And leave some comments below about some of the places that you have camped this past season and what your favorite ones have been. Until next time, folks, we'll see you on the trail. Happy New Year.